Hello and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Where in the last episode, we finished up what seems to be our final investigations for not only Bridge to the Turnabout, but also for the game and also for the trilogy. So now, we are headed to trial, and what I assume is going to be the last series of trials in the game, and which we are going to finally put an end to this case, and it seems like we're also going to be tying up a lot of loose ends throughout the story beats that have been present throughout the entire trilogy, so this is going to be quite the trial, I can already tell. February 10th, 8:39 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me, what's going to happen to Mr. Meyer?
I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then, how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. Edgeworth? Yep, Edgeworth. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. That's... I did not approve this. Wait, what? The prosecutor was squeezing her for a confession. Or so I heard. Franziska von Karma. What are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? And who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot. Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You mean that she's...
Exactly. She has been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah. Thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold on to someone else, literally. And with that, I'll leave the rest in your capable hands. Partner. Aww, Edgeworth! I love these guys. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Nim. No, I mean Misty Faye. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. February 10th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. With fake judge. Oh, yay! Oh, it's the classic judge! Oh, thank goodness. I really did not want to have to go through another trial with fake judge. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor, what are you... Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in the chambers. Oh, the other guy's your little brother? Oh, that's kind of nice. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. Okay, there's cup number 1.
It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past, and we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
All said, Mr. Godot. I understand exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
So then you mean, forget it. What do you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime, but today she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Confession? The defendant?
Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Okay.
Welcome to the stand, Iris.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask her for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training in Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is this something you want to confess to?
Yes. But first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise and him?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the life of the shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hasakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order on the court. Order. Witness. Are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? And we're already off to a great start. 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. There's cup number 2.
Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite?
Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Iris' testimony crumpled up and shoved into her pocket.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. What crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering for someone.
Now I'm definitely out the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hasakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hasakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh?
Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite.
She's naming Maya? Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the iris to try to protect her.
Oh, BS. That's ridiculous. Maya can never do such a... The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. Okay, Iris. What do you got for me? Oh, look, obviously she's lying to try to protect her sister. I don't know why she would do that, because we've already kind of established Dahlia as kind of a terrible human being.
I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya.
Why would she do that? Why would she do that? Actually, why would she do that? What? Only in self-defense? Why? Why would either of them do that?
Yes.
Oh, that Miss Lee was the one who attacked first. That doesn't make any sense.
That's why I try my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You removed the victim's body, isn't that right? Not bad, you got the true instincts of a true criminal.
Something doesn't quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with the cross-examination. But I don't... How... Why would Maya's mother try to kill her? That doesn't make any sense at all. I'm gonna need more details about this. I'm sorry. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
Was some kind of...
Why would she need a dagger? Her staff is already a lethal killing machine. A dagger, huh? And at least didn't even try to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Fey?
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Do I have a problem with that testimony? Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do?
But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue.
She threw her staff away, pulled the dagger. Why would she do that? Her staff is already a lethal freaking killing machine. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Mr. Nim throwing her staff away makes no sense at all.
But all you can do with the staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword.
Ah!
If Elise Nim really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger, not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? There's number 3.
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Wright. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use is the what's important. The important thing is that she tried...
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense that she did that. But there is something strange about the whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright?
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony cannot be trusted. Because Miss Elise Nim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey because she is her mother. Real name, Misty Fey. Elise Nim would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Nim. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey?
No, not Mystic Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to? Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Nim actually the great Mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one whom she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some sort of explanation for why she would do such a thing? Order! Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness' testimony, it seems natural enough. In light of some facts that have just been presented, 1. That the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and 2. That the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. There's number 4.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing.
Yes? What is this one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps.
Could you get to your point?
I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
You're going to ruin your health, my friend. I don't know how it's not already.
After hearing the woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime, and he discovered this little beauty.
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor, but did you notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Huh? The pine tree?
This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee.
Didn't you just say it was your 8th a few minutes ago?
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Dagger added to the court record. Now then, the testimony we've just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. There's number 5.
Cute girls never lie, ever.
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Time for the big battle.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic... Wait,
Wait a second. Wasn't she stabbed in the back? Let me see the autopsy report again. Yeah, loss of blood from stabbed in the back. So, how exactly can you be stabbed in the back when your killer is in front of you and your back is against the wall? How exactly does that work? That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Missy's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with the cross-examination. Okay, well, you can't be stabbed in the back when your back is against the wall. Something about what you just said isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
Well, what do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Miss Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back.
Ah!
This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt is sprouted from your testimony.
Ah!
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? That's number 6.
Oh, it's simple. People are like books. We all get the front and the back. You get my drift?
Is that all you have to say?
I can also say the darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of the testimony just doesn't make any sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting between mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach? There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration. Are you really concentrating on what the witness actually said?
Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself.
The witness is quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Right?
By the way, did you know? Asakura has a rule that on nights when Acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had ever been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening. There's number 7.
Yes, that illuminating factors traced all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Straight?
No! Order!
Maybe we'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
A lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit at the time of the crime, okay?
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot?
This lantern, there's something written on it. Oh, why, it's written in blood! Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood?
Oh yeah, because his visor, so he can't see the blood. Remember, well, I should have figured that out in Recipe for Turnabout because his visor has red marks all over it. So I should have been able to figure that out immediately. Right? Like, oh, he can't see the blood. He doesn't really talk about color. Why would that be the case? And now that's the same thing happened here. He can't see the blood because his visor. It says Mario upside down.
What the?
Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her. But the blood that was draining out of her...
Okay, the blood that was draining out of her body from her back. So she reached into her back with a knife in her, because the knife wouldn't have been pulled out until after she got across the bridge. So she must have... How did that work? Reached behind her to do it, and then turned around, and Maya just stood there and let her do it? That just doesn't make any sense at all. It certainly looks that way.
Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about?
What do you mean, what are we all talking about? Talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This goes to this crazy one.
It's Pfizer. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing. We already, now that I think of it, this is maybe yesterday. Yeah, we already know this. We already very clearly established that. So that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot? Okay then. Let's move on.
Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose. Interesting. I believe it has now been established that Mr. Nim was killed by Maya Fey.
What? That doesn't make any sense! That doesn't make any sense!
How would she have been able to write that? Explain that. She would have had to reach into her back with the knife still in her because the knife wasn't pulled out of her. Remember, we established it wasn't pulled out of her until she got across the gap, and and then that's when Iris pulled the knife, or Dahlia, I'm pretty sure it's Dahlia, pulled the knife out of her. So the knife was still in her, so she was somehow able to get the blood out of the wound from there, even with the knife still in her, use that to paint her name on the wall, do it upside down, while Maya would just stand there and freaking watch? Why?
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
Okay, Sister Iris's cover-up.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across the ski.
You dragged Maya's body across the bridge?
And then I used the snowman to carry it back to Asakura Temple, and I used the Shishitsu after the way the wound was looked.
So you removed the body.
Yes, I was raised at Asakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan, but even so, I never imagined that at least Nim was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with the cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. I'm gonna need to hear more about the snowmobile, because there was a lot of speculation around the snowmobile tracks in the first set of trials. I'm gonna need to clarify that with you. The snowmobile, I knew it would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Asakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I have some more of course we should have some more details, but about the tracks, yeah, because the tracks are the most contentious thing. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally, you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes, I think that they are.
But I only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Asakura Temple.
Wait. Snow was still falling.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And when the murder took
Place it already is that true? Well, snow stopped at 10:50 p.m. That's before. Wait, no, wait a minute. Double wait a minute. Okay, 10:50 p.m. is when the snow stopped, and the bridge was on fire 5 minutes beforehand. So no, you definitely didn't drag the body across the bridge.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about it?
It's very important. You just blew your whole case wide open, and I'm pretty sure this is when we're gonna prove my theory right. My initial theory, when I first saw that picture, I think we're about to prove that right. Because the bridge was on fire, which means she would not have been able to drag it across. I like the statement Iris made as a testimony, and she just proved with the whole "it stopped snowing" thing that the murder took place before the time when we think it happened.
Oh, this should be fun.
There's number 8.
Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Time the murder took place the stopped. I have evidence that that is not true. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor.
Or is there the evidence in the statement I just laid it?
What? They are. What? 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 Huh? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. What? Do I need to prove that she couldn't drag it across the bridge? I thought we were gonna prove that she couldn't. What's it? That the inconsistency with the snow thing, not the bridge. But I guess okay, fine, whatever. I'll accept defeat on that one. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
Yeah. See, and he just said it's just not possible. So why couldn't I have presented that on the statement where it says no? This is the weather day from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop till 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why did you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire.
What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be. It can't be.
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
Ah!
Order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I'll hold you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? There's number 9.
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat.
The important thing now is to find out the truth, isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are 2 facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of released Nim was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard, and second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Nim's body.
he makes a good point on both accounts.
That's right. I'm not lying.
What are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy.
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of the night is hazy?
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, tried, maybe you can explain this to the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick?
I actually do. I actually have a perfect explanation. Because, yeah, I think we're about to. But wait, no, but I am prepared. I am prepared to offer it.
No,
I am. I can explain it to you. I can explain it to you. All right then. What is the sir testimony once more?
About what, Your Honor?
You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would this be her final testimony? Okay. Moving the body.
Other than walking over the bridge, no one moved the body.
Yes, there is.
So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling right at stop? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying there was a way to cross the burning bridge?
Not to cross the burning bridge, but to get across the canyon, there is.
So it's just misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of this bridge after it burned up in the lighting glass. It was taken in the morning after the incident.
Ah! And there's the rope that was used. The dangling rope right there. That's what was used. That's what they used to, what's it? To swing across the gap. Guaranteed it.
One of the suspension wires even snapped. It was amazing. The whole bridge didn't fall.
Guaranteed that's what happened, and we're gonna prove it.
Clearly it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth, and Maya will be accused of murder.
Try it, I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Okay. So, I should just be able to show Larry's sketch, right? Because that demonstrates exactly how. Well, no way to move the body. Yeah, there is. Thanks to a certain artiste. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. Well, yeah, I would, but flying under it. Now we got something.
Oh, if you're saying it's possible, don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air.
I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous.
Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Nim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice Loris Nim.
Brilliant? Highly gifted?
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack Heavenly Hall, and that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen the sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's on April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming the victim flew through the air? No, I am not. Are you using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's just about to blow a gasket.
Huh. Well, that's right. There's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does the sketch prove anything?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside.
I literally am. I literally am trying to turn this whole thing upside down.
If you're sorry we would turn this case upside down, why not start with the sketch?
Upside down? Why'd you go and say that? I already did that. I already turned it upside down.
What was always the sketch trying to show?
I don't think the old whisker face is going to forgive me more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, so carefully and think it over. This sketch drawn by Larice and him is a complete contradiction, I think. Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Loris Denim stated it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? Yes, Iris, there's somebody flying through the air.
Looks like you're getting back to the finger-pointing thing again. Okay, try to raise up the country's reality
To show it, the fact that these wires are on the wrong side of the bridge. It's this wire connected to the bridge.
The wire? Oh, is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality.
Yeah, we have a photo of the bridge now, right? Yeah.
That's a photo of Sketsky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat!
the wires are below the guard wires.
What?
I think my theory's correct.
Order! The sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
No, he was upside down.
Perhaps he just drew it wrong?
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
With someone like Loris, I made a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at the Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way that he did.
He was lying on his back?
I can't see how it relates, but it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah! Oh, no way.
Larice Denim witnessed the event while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, the sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Denim's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Ridiculous.
Order!
What all the things to say, a pendulum?
The bridge was burning to a crisp. If the body had been found in the inner temple, it would cause problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and the pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Let's think about that for a moment, shall we? This bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yes, that sounds right.
In order to cover this with the pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead.
Nope. One of them just has to snap off the thing. And the photo shows that there's a rope dangling, like a pendulum. So then, they didn't have to get a rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, let's give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had a rope?
It was this, because there's a rope dangling in it.
And the meaning of this is?
If you want to know where that rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah, this is one of the wires on the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around the released in his body. Yup, I was so right. I was so freaking correct. Oh my god. Because there was simply no other way to move the body.
Glow, 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 glow.
Mr. Godot. He's still going. It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available are very high, so I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question, did that really happen? Try it,
I can't. Wait, I can. Yeah, because remember I also said that the autopsy report, like, after the rope released her, she would have fallen 10 feet after the death? I think that proves it. Yes, I do. I have actual evidence. The autopsy report. The autopsy report. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see that it's one that was in front of the inner temple. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? Why would you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence to suggest her body dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
That's...
Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off Miss Elise staff, and even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed. I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found,
Precisely, Your Honor. In this very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. I actually considered that. I was just focused on the fall distance.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have proved us right with the way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright! I thought this cold coffee might have cooled you down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? That was a dark and bitter guessing you made, right? Well, you forgot about one thing. Oh? What would that be? The aroma. The coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, so naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who protected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite?
Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hasagar Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then. If you please, Mr. Wright.
Who was the person? It had to be Iris, right? Because she admitted to being the person who set up the fake crime scene in the courtyard. It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? But
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Right, were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother died of blood bath.
No, that would have been... I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hasagar Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if on the night that...
Yeah, she was, because the one you're talking about is... Oh, shit! This isn't Iris! This isn't Iris! This is Dahlia! Iris isn't on the witness stand right now. That's Dahlia. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Wait, so then who's channeling her? Because Pearl couldn't channel her, right? She said she tried and failed. So who's the one who's channeling Dahlia? I don't know. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
Mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hasakura Temple?
Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is...
There was no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday, and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand, her real name is Dahlia Hawthorne. Gotcha! I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
Ha, it's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine. But, according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. We are literally cross-examining a spirit. So, just to review, over the course of 3 games, we've cross-examined a parrot, we've cross-examined a radio, and now we're cross-examining a spirit.
That there's no meaning in this courtroom.
What? Order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Korean channeling technique flows within that body. The Korean channeling technique? Now, where have I heard that? That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was?
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then... yes.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled that night. There were 2 irises at Hasakura Temple.
2 of them?
Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 o'clock p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me the hood in the main hall was also the real Iris, meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Do you even know what you're saying, Trike? It's all trailing in spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans to talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness's stand is the real Iris.
What? Riddle me that, Batman.
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini and Dahlia Hawthorne had been channeled, would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by the pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that Iris was received. The body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hasakura Temple's main hall. that they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. Can't deny any of that.
Phew, thank goodness. Looks like he's finally convinced.
But something still seems way off. Something convinced Iris it was the same thing the other night.
Oh, I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like, they'll realize in the spirit of Dahlia. Some most but
yeah, they could have. They very easily could have. They very easily could have, because if you recall, Iris was sent to the temple to try to crack the trick locks that she put there, and... The earthquake! The earthquake! That's what it was. When the earthquake happened, Edgeworth was the only one watching them. That would have been when they swapped places. That would have been when they swapped places.
To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witnesses identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't need to have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hasakura Temple, have there been any changes to yes, there was one.
Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris' whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move out freely unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would have given murder suspect time to...
It would have been Edgeworth. Sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris a chance to freely move about was... Where is he? There he is.
This is... Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the air temple, this kind of tremor might...
How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
Ha-ha, it's Dahlia!
It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice. Please love to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession, permanently retired.
So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
Well, what is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time I'll end it. For her and for myself. Oh! That's not okay! You can't leave me on a cliffhanger like that. Alright, we're going again. Okay, as if this episode, thanks for watching. See you next time. We'll catch you all later today for some more Phoenix Wright, Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Goodbye!